The Dayton City Commission meeting will now come to order. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. The invocation will be given this evening by Commissioner Shaw.
Dear God, we invoke thy holy guidance on our efforts to serve the people of this city, which thou hast blessed in so many ways. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ms. Jackson, may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Mims,
Aye.
Commissioners Joseph,
Aye.
Shaw,
Aye.
Fairchild,
Aye.
Turner-Sloss.
Aye.
Okay, may I have a motion then to approve the minutes from the August 14th meeting?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
It's been probably moved in second to approve the minutes from the August 14th meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay. Okay. Ms. Jackson, do we have any presentations?
There are none.
Okay. Okay, we do have, I guess, one presentation this evening. I'd like to call Mr. Jeff Treziak from the Montgomery County Metro Library Association with some great news.
Thank you. Thank you. I was expecting to be number 11. Caught me by surprise. Thank you. I promise not to take too much of your time. I appreciate your time this evening to talk a little bit about the library levy, but I also want to give you a very quick update. I'm very pleased to say that the library is more or less recovered from COVID. We now have almost 370,000 active card holders around the county. 71,000 of those are kids. And last year we saw 3.4 million visitors at 1.8 million in our buildings and 1.6 million at our library website. Our website, we say, has become our 18th branch because it is so active. We also saw a record number of items circulated last year with 7 million items being circulated. 43% of those were either ebooks or e-audio books. So people are really taking advantage of our electronic offerings as well. And we're offering technology now, too. If you've been in the library recently, which I hope you have, you already know that we circulate laptops. But we've also recently added wireless access points, which people can take home if they don't have internet at home. And we've started also loaning out Roku devices. So if you want to binge watch your favorite HBO Max TV show, but you don't want to pay the subscription, you can come to your public library and check out a Roku device. Unfortunately, we have seen a decline in state funding. We get about 50% of our funds through the public library fund, and most of the rest through a local property levy. This year, we're anticipating about a $1.6 million decline in our state funding. And to put that in perspective, that represents what it costs us to run 2 of our branches. So we've basically lost funding for 2 of our branches, and we've had to figure out ways to continue to provide services and support. This is in addition to rising costs associated, you all know, increased costs with personnel, increased costs with utilities, increased costs with materials, technology, and facilities. I mentioned the circulation of electronic resources because what most people don't know is that those e-books and those e-audio books are simply more expensive for us, not just a little, but a lot. A regular print book is about $15 on average, but the same book as an ebook is $65, and the exact same book as an audiobook is $95. So the more, we love the fact that people are using the library and using our electronic resources, but it's causing our costs to skyrocket. So this fall, we will have a levy on the ballot. This is the first operating levy that we've had since 2009. So it's been 15 years since we've gone back to the public and asked for increased funding. So we think we've been really good stewards of taxpayer dollars. And we think with the construction project, we said we were going to build new buildings, and we went out and we built new buildings, which I think the community really appreciates and very clearly heavily uses. This will be a small levy, being respectful of economic times and people's concerns about taxes. It will be 1 mil, and it will be a 5-year levy. So that's about 67 cents per week on a $100,000 home, or about $3 a month. And as I mentioned, it's time limited for 5 years. This is an additional levy And it is not to support new services or new technologies. This is strictly for us to be able to continue to provide the same types of services and support that we've been providing. So really focused on programs to kids, books, technology, and also helping people find employment. Those are the critical functions that we now serve. Without this additional levy, we will unfortunately have to cut roughly $7 million out of our budget if it doesn't pass. And that represents about 20% of our budget or about 35% of our staffing. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, Mr. Fairchild, I'm looking this way, I'm talking that way. Okay. Commissioner Turner-Sloss, any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Treziak. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your leadership. And I apologize if I missed it. I know that we're dealing with cuts from the state, and with that being said, will this proposed levy, will it provide the continued service for Sunday operations, or?
Thank you for asking. One of the cuts that we did implement was the elimination of Sunday hours at the main library, and we did that in order to really protect jobs because those Sunday hours were staffed with overtime dollars. So we are committed to reinstating Sunday hours if the levy passes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Fairchild.
I'm sorry you said it, but I missed. What's the magnitude of the levy?
It's $1 million. For 5 years. It's about 67 cents per week on a $100,000 home, or roughly $3 a month, and it'll generate about $10 million annually for us.
Okay, that's awesome. We love the library at our house, and for our community, we love the library, so I want to be very supportive. This fall is going to be a very partisan election cycle.
Yes.
Are you taking any steps to, do you have a firm who's going to run the campaign?
Yeah, we're working with Burgess and Burgess, and they run many of the campaigns here in Montgomery County. And our campaign manager is Jen Murphy, who I know some of you know. I know that the parks are also going to be on the ballot this year, and we're working with the parks. We're both quality of life issues, and we want the parks to be successful as well. So we actually just ran a voter poll together. But we will be looking at, I should say our PAC will be looking at things like joint yard signs and mailings.
Sure.
So we're working with others.
Because there's been a history in Dayton of levies getting paired up with candidate campaigns.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what steps you're taking to ensure that doesn't happen in this election cycle.
I can say, so we have a levy website. The PAC has a levy wesite, votefordml.org. It lists all of our endorsements. And we do serve most of the county. Centerville, Oakwood, and Germantown have their own independent libraries, so this levy will not appear on their ballots. But the PAC has been requesting endorsements from around the county, and I'm very pleased to say that we have support from left, right, and in between.
Sure. And it's Jen Murphy working for any candidates in this election cycle, do you know?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
So I think she is.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Apologies.
But I do also think that both the Republican Party and Democratic Party have endorsed the library levy. So
The Democratic Party has. I have yet, we're still lining up endorsements, so the Republican Party has not yet, but we have a number of Republican mayors on board. Huber Heights, Riverside, Kettering, Miamisburg, Brookville. So I think libraries are one of those things that I think are used by everybody.
right.
So,
Yeah, pretty much nonpartisan.
yes, we are.
Yes. Okay. Commissioner Shaw.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. You need this levy,
Yes, we do.
providing critical services to folks that oftentimes don't have access, urban communities, rural communities, and the costs go up on everything. So you've been dealing with that and trying to hold on as long as you can, but you need this.
Yes, we do.
So it's really important to push this forward. It benefits all of us across this community. Yeah.
Yeah, we agree.
Really glad you're doing the work. It's important. I know this effort, just like with any levy, I mean, we put information out to anyone who will take it and push the information out, Republican, Democrat, candidates, non-candidates, whatever. So I think you should have a full-throated kind of effort to get this information out, and hopefully you'll be successful. Let me know if I can help.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Commissioner Joseph.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioner just mentioned the service that you do to people who really need it, and you and your staff have been excellent public servants in a lot of ways.
Thank
And I want to specifically mention the service that you provide to folks who may not trust government in general. You give them an institution that's seen as neutral, as a safe place, and give them a place where they can come, where they can ask for help. I know that you have been offering services well outside what libraries are traditionally seen as offering, but you've done an excellent job. Your
Thank
staff
you.
does too. So I hope that folks hear the urgency that Commissioner mentions, that you need this. We certainly, of course, would help. I don't think I'm safe to speak for my colleagues here with whatever you need.
Okay.
And we need to work together to get this passed. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I've looked around. I didn't ask, but I looked around and I see eyes that are saying yes on my commissioners. So I know I'm on board as one of your co-chairs. So if you would ask, I'm sure we would come up with a resolution of some support.
I'm here today as the Executive Director of Dayton Metro Library. I think the PAC is planning on coming a little closer to the election.
Okay? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I think Ms. Dixon, you have a presentation?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. It's that time of year. We have our Dayton Annual Survey that is hitting the field, so I would like to call forward Jennifer Custer in our Management Budget Office to provide a brief presentation to you all so that you can answer questions as public raises them.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jennifer Custer. I'm with the Management and Budget team and want to provide a brief overview of the 2024 Dayton Survey. As in years previously, this is our third year now with ETC, the organization, the survey body that we have used to send out our surveys to our Dayton residents. We're going to continue that with them. And again, on that front of continuity, the questions are about the same ballpark of number and of action. So we've kept it pretty much the same so that so we can keep trend and data and baseline information though too. So ETC, like I said, this is our third year with them, so they've got a dashboard also that we have access to that we can provide some information though to our residents with as well. The surveys themselves, they will actually start to hit mailboxes next week. They're going to start going out next week. We anticipate that roughly 14,000 or so residents will receive a survey from us. It is a random selection, and then all of the responses, though, are also anonymous. So we encourage residents to respond to the survey so that we can, again, continue to gather information and get some information that are relevant to their services and actions that they want to see in their community. As I said, surveys will start to go out next week then. Residents can either respond by mailing back their survey or scanning the QR code that they would receive as a random selection. If they have any questions, there's information that they can contact us with that as well, though. The nice thing about this is, again, all of the responses will be anonymous, and residents that do complete the survey are entered in for a $500 Visa gift card. So that's a really great thing for our residents. The dashboard, as I previously mentioned, though, that is on the management and budget page for the city of Dayton. So all of that trend data, we'll continue to gather that and see that for the upcoming year. That can be found on the website, of course, though. And if there are any questions, anybody is welcome to give me a call if they would like to, and I'm happy to answer what I can. Are there any questions this evening?
Commissioners, Commissioner Turner-Sloss, any questions?
I don't have any right now. I do have some, and I'll just forward those over to Ms. Jackson and Ms. Dixon because I cannot recall more questions. So I'll get them over. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do know, I apologize. It was more so in line of the, I think the survey mentioned, the cover letter mentioned that the participants in the survey, that they will remain anonymous, but then it also notes that in order for them to complete the survey, that there is an ID number that is given that goes to the household. So my question is in regards of how is it anonymous when it's going to tie back with that ID number to the household?
Sure, ETC has that information. We're not privy to that information, so it
Okay.
is completely anonymous on our end of receiving the data, and that's how we're able to use it, though. But they have the aggregate data. They keep that portion of it.
Okay.
And that ID is important so that we know that we have the right representative across the city,
Okay.
right? So that's what the consultant does, but our staff gets none of that identifying information.
Okay, thank you. And then the other question was, correct me if I'm wrong, from last year, this survey allows those outside of that designated area, it allows others to participate if they go to the link. Is that correct, or how?
Yeah, the ETC organization is actually going to send out some targeted ads to our area of Facebook and other social media platforms with a link on it as well, yes. And they can click on that and fill out, I don't know, I assume it's identical to the survey that mail-in respondents and others would receive. They can complete that as well for their information to be added to the aggregate data as well.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Custer.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Commissioner Fairchild?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
I'm good, too.
No,
Nothing here?
I'm
Thank
good. Oh, thank you for your presentation. Oh, you got something else to add?
I'm gone.
Okay.
So, yes, someone not in our Dayton jurisdiction could complete the online report, but at the end, it asks for your address, or else ETC doesn't count for it. So we only include in our survey results those within the Dayton boundaries. We have like the GIS data to make sure your address is within Dayton when you get the survey results in the dashboard.
Okay, thank you for
Yep.
that clarification.
That's important information. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Jackson, do we have any additions, deletions, or comments to the calendar?
No, Your Honor, there are not any additions, deletions, or comments to the calendar.
Okay, Ms. Dixon, deletions, additions, comments to the calendar?
Your Honor, I have no additions or deletions to this evening's calendar. I do have a couple of highlights. One is item B3, which is a construction contract with A to Z Property Maintenance LLC. This is another investment brought forward by our Dayton Recovery Plan. This is a continuation. I highlighted this a week or two ago about some of the great investment we're doing around curb and sidewalks within our neighborhoods. And this contract for $473,000 is for curb and sidewalk repair in the Carillon neighborhood. We had 5 bids received, and this is the lowest and best bid. Item number 7, I want to just clarify, it was brought to my attention by Commissioner Turner-Sloss, actually, that there was an oversight. We missed including our youngest sister-city relationship, and that Selfie Palestine was not identified in the body of the city manager's report. But certainly the $15,000 contribution for 2024 is for all 7 of our sister city relationships, and making sure that everyone has the kind of support to keep fostering those relationships.
Okay.
And that's all I have, Your
That's
Honor.
it. Okay. So, Ms. Jackson, do we have any citizens who want to comment on calendar items?
Yes, Your Honor, we have one citizen who is registered to speak. I would like to state there is a 3-minute time limit. As you address the commission, we ask that you state your name, address for the record. At that time, I will turn on the green light. When the green light comes on, you will have 3 minutes to speak. After you have spoken 2.5 minutes, a yellow light will come on. You will have 30 seconds remaining to speak. When the red light comes on, you will be asked to cease your comments and take your seat. To the audience in attendance, please be mindful that this is a business meeting, and we will kindly request that during this portion of the meeting, you refrain from any hand clapping, finger snapping, and conversation that would prevent the City Commission from hearing the speaker's comment. Ms. Birch? State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Kiana Burge. My address is 623 Homewood Avenue, Dayton, Ohio.
Good evening.
However, I marked that I wanted to speak on number 14 for the general comments, but I can speak now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I wrote an email to the City Planning Commission. So I just want to read the email because this is in regards to 648 Gray Mine. I am writing to follow up on the demolition of a house located at 648 Gray Mine, which your crew carried out around May 30th. I appreciate the prompt action in addressing the house as it was a significant health and safety hazard with the potential to cause damage to my grandmother's property. However, since the demolition, the debris has not been cleared and it has now been sitting there for nearly 3 months. The site remains a gaping hole filled with debris. I've sent pictures, which has become a hazard, particularly for the grandchildren, including my children, who frequently visit my grandmother, as well as other children in the neighborhood. It is my understanding that it is common practice to complete the demolition by removing all the debris, including from detached structures and stairs, filling in the void. I kindly request that you direct the crew to complete the demolition. My grandmother has reached out to the city commissioners. She has come down here herself, and she is ill in regards to this issue, but it has yet to be resolved. I would greatly appreciate your attention, and now all of your attention, to the matter and safety for everyone. I will say, and I apologize for getting your name wrong earlier, that I did speak to Commissioner Turner-Sloss, and she has iterated to me that sometimes there are other matters outside of just clearing the debris that will cause that demolition to be delayed. So kind of temper my fervor a little bit. So I would just ask that if you could communicate that to my grandmother so she at least knows the reason that this property has not been completely dealt with, because it is a rather large hole. Children are curious, and they don't have common sense a lot. And I don't want someone's child, especially mine, to get hurt because of this issue.
Okay, logical concern. If you stay after the meeting, we'll get some additional information, and we'll see what we can do in terms of addressing that concern.
Mayor,
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know, this was an emergency demolition.
Okay.
And so the structure was ruled unsafe and had to be knocked down. And always there is then the lead time of, trying to identify property owners, to hold property owners accountable, and/or then if it's a burn structure, it has to be treated as it's all asbestos, and there's a lot of steps that go forward, which is why we have delay in removing piles. The good news is, we have contracts to help with pile demo removal, but we will certainly make sure that we get an update to you all, and we'll make sure that your grandmother is communicated.
Made aware. Yep.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you,
thank you.
Ms. Burge. Thank you, Ms. Dixon.
That is all, Mayor.
That's it. Okay. Commissioners, any comments on calendar items?
I have none, Your Honor.
None? Commissioner Fairchild?
No.
None?
None here.
Okay. I accept the motion then to approve the city manager's recommendations.
I move to accept the city manager's recommendation.
Second motion, Your Honor.
It's been probably moved and seconded to approve the city manager's recommendations. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay, legislation, Ms. Jackson.
First reading, emergency resolution number 6818-24, approving the submission of grant applications to the District 4 Montgomery County, Ohio Public Works Commission Integrating Committee, authorizing the acceptance of the grant award from the State of Ohio Public Works Commission for the State Issue 1 program for the public capital infrastructure improvements in an amount not to exceed $2,872,500.00 on behalf of the city of Dayton and declaring an emergency.
Your Honor, being declared an emergency, I move for the immediate passage of emergency resolution number 6818-24.
Second motion, Your Honor.
Okay. It's been probably moved and seconded then to have resolution number 6818-24 declared an emergency. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay, thank you.
First reading ordinance number 32105-24, authorizing the city manager to accept a grant award from the Ohio Department of Transportation for an amount of $385,200.00 in federal funds. Second reading resolution number 6815-24, declaring the intention of appropriate real property interest in parcel 4T, 9T1, and T2, 18SH and T, and 19SH1, T1, and T2 in connection with the South Main Street reconstruction project. Mayor Mims,
Aye.
Commissioners Joseph,
Aye.
Shaw,
Aye.
Fairchild,
Aye.
Turner-Sloss.
Aye.
Second reading resolution number 6816-24, declaring the intention to appropriate real property interest in parcels 15T, 16SH, 23T, and 26SH and T1 in connection with the Wayne Avenue traffic calming project. Mayor Mims,
Aye.
Commissioners Joseph,
Aye.
Shaw,
Aye.
Fairchild,
Aye.
Turner-Sloss.
Aye.
Second reading resolution number 6817-24, declaring the intention of the commission to vacate the southern portion of Buckeye Street at Wayne Avenue. Mayor Mims,
Aye.
Commissioner Joseph,
Aye.
Shaw,
Aye.
Fairchild,
Aye.
Turner-Sloss.
Aye.
That is all.
Okay. Do we have any citizens who are registered to speak?
Yes, Your Honor. We have 4 citizens that are registered to speak. I would like to state there is a 3-minute time limit. As you address the commission, we ask that you state your name and address for the record. At that time, I will turn on the green light. Then the green light comes on. You will have 3 minutes to speak. After you have spoken 2.5 minutes, a yellow light will come on. You will have 30 seconds remaining to speak. When the red light comes on, you are asked to cease your comments and take your seat. To the audience in attendance, please be mindful that this is a business meeting, and we kindly request that you during this portion of this meeting, you refrain from any hand clapping, finger snapping, and conversation that will prevent the City Commission from hearing the speaker's comments. I call to the podium Yusuf Al-Zain.
Good evening. My name is Yusuf Al-Zain, 4906 Amberwood Drive, Dayton, Ohio. I'll try to stick to my script today. And it has nothing to do with the omission of self-feed from the manager's report. I promise you. I was getting ready to present this because this was my presentation last week to the Sister City Committee during our meeting. So my focus tonight is to speak about our sister city, Selfit, Palestine, and the focus is education and literacy. But I cannot start there without at least reflecting on the huge civilian losses in Gaza, with over 16,000 killed to date, are considered children and school-age kids. 80% of the higher education and K-12 schools have been completely destroyed or damaged, including those schools that are being used as safe havens for the refugees. Now the good news. Showing the resilience of the Palestinian children and their hunger to learn, the latest statistics on the report that was published in March of this year, 3.4% of the population, that's about 4.4 million Palestinians living in the Palestinian territories, are illiterate. They can read a higher than a level 1 education based on our standards. In contrast, I'm using Montgomery County, and this is not intended to be as any insult or anything, but I was trying to compare the Salfit governor to Montgomery County. 1 in 5 of our residents cannot read or write in Montgomery County. That's about 20% of our population. It's all on Google and statistics. So that's about 170,000 of our population of 533 of Montgomery County are below level 1 literacy level. I'm glad that I was here today when the director of the public library was here to ask for passing the levy. I'm hoping that where my passion is, and when I started this relationship, I was asked, what does Salfit going to give us? And you can go back and see my presentation. It was culture and education. That's where we can tap into these small cities that are nobody is aware of. Education and culture are still going to be what we need to reach out to these small cities overseas that are struggling to tap into the resilience of the population that live under really serious and intense hardship. Let's take advantage of it, and hopefully our next trip will be to Salfit, Palestine, where we can celebrate their resilience, and hopefully peace will prevail in Gaza and the West Bank. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Alzing.
Thank you for your comments.
Ms. Utsi Shelton.
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
Utsi Shelton, 31 South Main Street, Dayton, Ohio. Good evening. I'm here on behalf of the Miami Valley Urban League that was awarded $1.5 million by the city of Dayton. Just to give an update of $655,000 has been given to over 125 local businesses within the city zoning. Wanted to come because I know there's other businesses that could use our technical assistance with their paperwork to make sure that they're able to apply. And we are hosting a lunch and learn on September the 5th to give those businesses an opportunity to know what the eligibility and the qualification for the grants are, and help them with the step-by-step process of the applications so that we can get those businesses that have not tapped into that resiliency money as of yet. So that's why I'm here to make sure that you're aware of that, and we appreciate all that's been done. I do want to let you know that the areas that the money has gone to has been education, those in tutoring and preschool, professional services, transportation, healthcare, technology, retail, the arts, and food entrepreneurs. So we've had a few new ones come in, but want to make sure those that are still in the city and their zone can get the opportunity, because we will be releasing our third round for 2024 in the next couple of weeks. So I'm putting that information out, leaving it here, and getting it out at resource fairs as well.
Okay, well, I appreciate that a lot. Would you leave your number for us, please, on the air so everybody can see that and write it down?
The number to the Urban League is 937-535-5724. And we'll be glad to take any questions you have and assist you one-on-one or in a group to get this taken care of so that we can support the businesses in the city of Dayton.
Okay, and please give our regards to Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Ms. Shelton.
I call to the podium Fatima Gula.
Good evening, Fatima Gula, 336 Miller Avenue.
Evening.
You may begin.
Another quote from my speech at the Martin Luther King Jr. banquet. No longer are we entertaining racism, bigotry, colonialism, imperialism, exceptionalism, apartheid, genocide, or war. So I ask, why are you entertaining it? Israel has done the following in August. Israel murdered journalist Ismail Al-Ghul, blowing his head off. Israel assassinated the chief Hamas negotiator for a ceasefire, Ismail Haniyeh, and is bombing neighboring countries. Israel bombed so-called safe zones, multiple schools, leaving only pieces of flesh to be picked up and weighed, burnt people alive, bombed a hospital, and leaked footage has shown Israeli soldiers gang-raping prisoners. What did Israelis do? They must have condemned it. Well, no. Instead, they are holding right to rape protests and are debating whether it's morally right or not. An Israeli poll found that 65% of Israelis believe the rapist shouldn't be prosecuted. In a recent Israeli shelling on Deir al-Balah, a man's wife and newborn twins were murdered. What did Israelis do? 132,000 Israelis celebrated it on Telegram, saying his wife and twin children were eliminated. It really touches me. Yay to the trash. Aren't they just the most moral army and people in the world? Despite this, you still entertain them. 10 months of genocide, and you still hold trade relations and align yourselves with Israel. Today, I woke up to a video of a dead child's head split open with flesh hanging from their neck. Do you know what the hollowed out skull of a child looks like? Have you seen burnt bodies? Have you seen human remains hanging from a wall? Have you seen actual decapitated babies, mangled bodies? Have you seen their suffering? We have, and we will never forget it. To see that satanic flag up there is sickening and shameful. I have never received any straight answers at the last meeting. I'm certain we'll never get the truth. Zionist money and bowing to Israel is more important than speaking the truth. Can't risk being called anti-Semitic. I'll speak the truth. It's pathetic. To end this, we demand that you send the ceasefire resolution that was made in Dayton to the White House, every Congress member, the DNC and RNC, and to keep it in the Dayton Daily News. You want our votes in the future? Earn them. Show us you are willing to use the power you have to end this slaughter. Make our gem city shine in darkness. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Hey,
Lula.
thank you for your comments.
I call Renee Pierce to the podium.
Good evening.
To Mayor Mims and commissioners, good evening.
Ms. Pierce, you want to give us your name and address?
My name is Renee Pierce. I live at 1526 Lexington Avenue in Dayton, Ohio.
Thank you. You may begin.
I moved to Dayton to attend college a few years ago. And then in 1963, I moved to Dayton View. Homes are beautiful. I love Dayton. People cared about what their friends did, and they kept their yachts and everything clean. Things changed when employees decided that they could move to the suburbs, and of course the houses became for sale and for rent. Then General Motors decided they was going to close their plants. And then again, we had no jobs for the people who had relocated and brought into the Dayton View area. But the thing about it was they didn't maintain the properties. Most of Dayton public schools closed, and then we ended up with chartered schools. Over Dayton, for some reason, they just can't get it together. So what do we have to attract young people to come to the area if we don't have good schools? We do not have a high school in the Dayton View area. We have at least 150 abandoned homes. Our tax base will drop if we don't have anyone paying or buying the homes. Why tear down all of these homes? You don't have any tax coming into the city of Dayton. We do not want to become broke. I want to make a suggestion to take one block at a time. Do not tear down all these properties. You do not get any money from vacant lots. Take a block at a time and restore them. We have whole blocks in Dayton View with no one in it. Grass growing up. Alleys full of trash. Now, how do I know? Because I drive around and see it. I love this city. But I do not like trash. So we need to do something about it. Think we should cut all the bushes in the alleys so the garbage trucks can come through. I feel sorry for the garbage people who come through the alleys. All the bushes in the alleys. Maybe we need to take the fences down and just let it be ground space or something. Alleys with trash, with all our boys trying to pick up trash. See them in the wintertime when snow is on these bushes that's hanging over in the alleys. Something needs to be done. To add to the problem, they put speed bumps on Gettysburg Avenue. Gettysburg Avenue is the way to get to 35. For some reason, they have tore up 35, tore up Gettysburg, and now we get the traffic down Philadelphia Drive, which 2 lanes. Gettysburg had 4 lanes. That was a nice neighborhood. People cannot back out of their driveways to get in the place because it's traffic backed up 3 and 4 blocks, trying to make a turn off of Philadelphia Drive. So what we need to do is get a speed bump, get the speed bumps off of Gettysburg, get the street completed so we can have a decent community. We're tearing down the city of Dayton. We want it cleaned up. I would take everyone, old and young, help clean up this city. This is what I would like to see happen. Put 2 or 3 cars out on the street with cameras on them. Take pictures of people throwing trash in the streets. The bottles and trash.
Okay, ma'am, your time is up. If you will stay after the meeting, we'll get some additional information from you. Thank you.
Do something.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Have a great day.
Thank
You
you,
too.
Ms. Pierce.
Yep, that will be all.
That's it? Okay. Ms. Dixon, any closing comments?
I have none, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Jackson, any closing comments?
No, Your Honor.
Commissioners, any closing comments?
Yes.
Turner-Sloss?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I would like to thank Mr. Treziak for being here this evening, as well as Ms. Custer. Thank you for your presentation this evening in regards to the Dayton survey. And then I would also like to highlight a number of the events that took place this weekend. There were a number of events that took place. The Porch Fest in St. Anne's neighborhood, as well as the African American Culture Festival. And there were a number of members in our community that were highlighted, as well as a former member of our community, as well as a judge, Judge Bill Littlejohn, Mr. Murphy, Ms. Heather, the Webb family, as well as Ms. Millie Smith. They were all recognized during the African American Culture Festival this past weekend. And then from my understanding, the Love It Funk Fest was a success. And so I want to congratulate all those and thank everyone who came out this past weekend to celebrate the history and the funk in the Dayton area. Ms. Custer, again, thank you for your comments. Ms. Birch, thank you, and thank you for acknowledging our conversation that you and I had very briefly. And as Ms. Dixon has already alluded to, and that she expounded on, rather, that there is a process and that we will make sure that we take a closer look to make sure that that debris is moved expeditiously. So thank you, and thank you for your patience. And I'll give you my card so that you can pass that over to your grandmother, so we can make sure that she is fully aware of the process itself, too. Mr. Alzane, thank you for your comments, and thank you for being here. And Ms. Dixon, thank you for acknowledging the oversight. I really appreciate you doing that and making that correction. But I also want to thank Mr. Alzane, as well as Ms. Mary Sue, for bringing that to our attention as a body. So again, thank you, Ms. Dixon, Mr. Alzane, and Ms. Gaminer. Ms. Shelton, thank you for your leadership, as well as Ms. Miller, and the great work that they're doing with the Miami Valley Urban League. And I'm so happy that we have that information, and she left us some flyers, so I'm sure we'll pass that information along, as well as share that on our various social media outlets. And I'm sure, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Hall and Ms. Shelton and Ms. Miller, they're all working together in regards to the Lunch and Learn that will take place here on September the 5th at 11 a.m. And again, please feel free to contact Miami Valley Urban League for additional information for assistance. I have one more comment, bear with me. Ms. Fatima Goma, thank you for your comments. I really appreciate your advocacy and your consciousness, and I do feel your plight, and I understand wholeheartedly. And just know that we are here in support within our purview and within our power in terms of this legislative body. So again, I appreciate your advocacy. And Ms. Pierce, thank you for being here as well. And thank you for your comments and bringing a number of concerns before us this evening. I will tell you that we do have a strategy. We're not demolishing everything. However, I would say I'm on the fence of that, because there are a number of structures that actually need to be demolished. But we just had a housing survey that was completed by our Planning and Neighborhood Development Department. We'll be happy to get that information over to you. I will send you the link, if you will, For the YouTube video, where the work session, I think it was either the work session or the actual commission meeting, where the Planning and Neighborhood Development Director, Mr. Gondel, is actually highlighting some of the various projects, the demolition projects in the Dayton area. And to your point, in regards to Gettysburg Avenue, so there is a number of construction projects that are taking place, more so traffic calming projects, one on Wayne Avenue as well as Gettysburg. And there are plans for speed cushions, to your point, the speed bumps. So things are moving so that we can, again, find the mechanisms necessary to eliminate any illicit behavior and speeding. As you may recall, there were a number of tragic incidents and accidents that took place on North Gettysburg. It's been about 2-3 years now, I believe. And
Yes.
so again, we're making
Correct.
sure that we are addressing those issues as much as we can. And again, there's a lot of work that's being done in your neighborhood. We have critical repair programs that we're making sure that we're getting out. We actually just had an update during the work session with the Planning and Neighborhood Development Department, highlighting all of the various housing opportunities, economic development opportunities. And your point is well taken in regards to the trash. I'm right with you. We are making sure that we do everything that we need to do to address those issues in terms of the trash, the debris, and I'm hoping that we can roll up our sleeves and do a little bit more. So again, continue your advocacy, continue to hold us accountable, and I really appreciate you being here this evening. And the last thing that I would like to mention, certainly not least, is that we lost a very active member in our community, and I just want to, if we could, have a moment of silence for Mr. Floyd Johnson, just to commemorate his life and his legacy. I believe he served as the past NAACP president. He was also very active in the Model Cities program, and I believe he was heavily involved in the redistricting. And so
Right.
again, if we can just have a moment of silence for Mr. Floyd Johnson and keep the Johnson family in our prayers.
Okay, let's do that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Fairchild.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner, for your comments. City Manager, thank you for your staff, the Public Works and Police for all those events, Commissioner Turner-Sloss. I mean, Saturday was quite the day with Porch Fest and the cultural, African-American Cultural Festival, as well as the Funk Festival. So that was a busy day for your team, and so thank you for making sure that all those went well and safely. And that, Ms. Pierce, I wanted to invite you to mark your calendar for September 28th. That's our neighborhood summit. I believe, is it back at Belmont again this year? I see a yes. And the title of it is Block by Block. And so we hear your concern, and our team is thinking along the line you are. And so, as Commissioner Turner-Sloss said, we just got an update on some of the activity that's happening. So I invite you to come and see a part of what we're doing and how you can be involved.
Actually, it's not my turn yet, but I would like to say we'll probably get you a copy of the presentation that we had today. I think you'll be very happy with progress overall in terms of the city. So, and good things are coming to your neighborhood as well. Okay.
Yeah, well, I think my colleagues really have covered it all. But I do want to say I'm glad that Mr. Trezak came down here regarding the levy for the library. I know this is part of the other section, but I just want to say, because her name was brought up, Jen Murphy and Associates is probably one of the most talented people doing this kind of work on levies in this region. So I'm glad, and I hope that she does have other clients that she's working with, because her influence is just so broad that I think it'll just bring much value to this levy process. So I'm just very excited that she's going to be part of this, and look forward to working with the entire team. Hope we all do.
Yeah, she's partnered with Burgess & Burgess and doing a lot of projects here recently. And I think our project was the first. So,
Absolutely.
good work. Okay. Commissioner Joseph.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate those comments. Just also, I should have said this earlier too, I just want to thank the city manager and the staff for their dedication to person-to-person diplomacy and the donation that we make annually to sister cities. we focus on the city on making sure that we create the spaces for dialogue, for mediation, for discussion. And really, it's a rare thing these days. I'm proud of our commitment to it, and I want to say that I thank my colleagues for supporting this and the contribution to sister cities. So thank you.
Okay. You know, so many things have been said already. All I need to say is love and peace for all and hatred for none. With no further business to come for this commission, this meeting is adjourned.